Welcome back dito sa ating ikalawang serye for today. Kung kanina nagpamalas ng galing at as well as development ang ating team from Rosie na si veteran at nanalo pa rin ang team acceptance in a close fashion every map. This time naman ang magpapakitang gilas is gonna be TARINGBABI versus ComebackFriends. Do you have any expectations from TARINGBABI, Bipolar? Kasi si ComebackFriends, andyan na yan no? Ganyan na sila
Ganyan na, Tetsu, Aiden, dyan lang yan
diba,
Pero
no?
I mean,
For
TARINGBABI mo yan, at least be on par dun sa performance na that's what I would be expecting, no? But if TARINGBABI doesn't do that, well, it might just be another ride as veteran situation, no? But for TARINGBABI, they've been pretty good, no? One of the best performances so far mula sa ating qualifiers. This was said by Sneaky Frog and Salvatore na parang yun na nga, they have set plays, they have meta guns pagdating din sa ating labanan. They don't actually play very different sa mga impact teams natin. A little bit on the lower side though. But you know what? Expectations will be at an all-time high again. Parang nabuhayan tayo sa sa mga performances ngayon ng Rosette team. So hopefully TARINGBABI does prevail.
And hopefully, maging inspirasyon to, no? Or more drive for TARINGBABI na mag-improve now na nakita nila na meron ng nararating itong si veteran ngayon, no? Kaya simulan na natin talakayan kung ano ang meron sa kanila. Because we already saw some glimpses in some of these players, no? Like with the likes of Penjahat, itong si Jimby, si Protons, matindi din at certain occasions, no? And it appears na they have very heavy mechanics. Yun naman yung pros nila dito. But when it comes to set plays, yung playbook nila, yet to be written on by Polar.
Yeah. And even for Makrai, I would like to give that. But he will not be playing for today. It's going to be Jangar going to be playing for TARINGBABI. So it's nice to see that these players are still happy. But we've seen this happen before, Mochi. Last Master Summer, last Master Spring, players coming from Rosario, they were pretty happy for the first 5 games, but after that they were very devastated. But hopefully with this matchup up against ComebackFriends, we see these masks become even fuller or become even more better, for TARINGBABI. But they got eyes on the sniper as well, because he has a pretty tough time here, because Woos is very much online coming from ComebackFriends.
Yeah, I feel like yung issue nila dito, no, again, no, ito yung kanilang history, no, both matches natin dito from Team Acceptance as well as Pervid, unfortunately, natalo sila, and it's quite one-sided. I feel like yung issue talaga nila dito is, number one, maliban sa kulang yung kanilang playbook, their players lack flexibility. Because normally, dito sa scene natin, we always have an additional player to switch up na double sniper setup, minsan tatlo pa, no? So imagine the beauty of having that type of flexibility anytime then the need arises in order to adjust para makapag-step up sa katapat mo, no? Pero sabi nga ng isa nilang player dito, ano nga ba ang sinabi niya? Ito ay galing kay McRae. Wow.
Makrai.
Makrai.
It's Makrai coming
naging,
in for TARINGBABI.
naging artist pa, no? McRae? Team McRae? Yeah. Sabi ni McRae, are you looking forward to play against both ComebackFriends and Virtus Pro? There are strong teams with talented players, and matches against teams like them are always a good test of our abilities. Competing against strong opponents helps us learn more about our own level and gives us the opportunity to improve as a team. Wow,
Yep.
I really like that answer.
These are big words, and coming from Makrai, he has a very, very far sight pagdating dito sa ating Masters, no? They're looking at the bigger goal of just defeating these big teams and at least getting a lot of wins coming into their name. So yeah, coming in for Makrai, he needs to lead his team, or at least give his team a little bit of a boost pagdating dito sa laban at because ComebackFriends is not a team na you should joke around.
Yes, and I think it's just right for us to discuss din, no? Ano nga ba yung meron sa kabila? I mean, I'm pretty sure, no? Aware na naman na lahat. Ano ba meron dyan, no? So we have the Tetsu, no? The almighty Tetsu, na sobrang tindi nga naman talaga mag-isip ng mga kung ano mga bagay ipapagawa niya sa team niya. But it works every single time, no? We also have Aldrin with the very subsequent power spikes, and as well as itong si Yaba, no? Same sila halos. And we also have Aiden na ang sipag humakot ng mga MVP titles natin.
Yeah, very much so. Looking at ComebackFriends, you also have to talk about Woos being the sole sniper here most of the time. Yes, Tetsu does snipe, pero kasi parang he doesn't have that kind of urge anymore to snipe out. Now he's mostly wielding the rifles now. But I would like to say improvements for Comeback Friends as well is at an all-time high. We talked about this the first week natin na parang there's a 60% pagdating din sa Comeback Friends na Aldrin as well as Aiden. Pero parang nawawala yun as the time goes by na parang everyone now is a force to be reckoned with, especially for Yaba and as well as kay Wooz. Tetsu, yes, he provides the IGL gear, but they're still capable players being one of the best in terms of individual skills. So yeah, tama nga sinabi din Makray kanina, that is a great testing point because Comeback Friends is just an amazing talent pool kung saan they are now in a 3-1 scoreline pagdating sa buong standings nila with just losing up against Forbid. Would like to say though na parang hindi naging impressive yung naging performance nila for Forbid. Yes, first up, no, sub-base was good. Pero the rest of that, up until the second map, hindi masyado. Parang naging question mark yun. Hopefully, hindi mangyari yun against TARINGBABI.
Yeah, and them alongside with Execration and as well as Fervit, it seems like those three teams, kasama itong si Comeback Friends, no? Parang sila yung merong pinaka-simple and peaceful route so far, no? Pero, naku po, ito ang quote, no? Sabi ni Tetsu, good luck and be prepared. Natatakot ka dyan? Ako pagka sinabihan ni Tetsu, ako matatakot ako dyan. Kasi parang hindi ko makita na sobrang seryoso ni Tetsu, no? Parang lagi siyang nangangiti, no? Pagkapilyo. Pero pag sinabihan kanya ng good luck and be prepared, no? Parang nakakatakot ata yung dating nun.
Yeah. Lalo na sa ating pagdating dito sa ating head-to-head, kailangan yung lalo maging prepared ng TARINGBABI because they have a player up against them na medyo malakas lang naman. It's Aiden. Si Aiden yan! 1.23 in terms of KD and a 1.01 na KR. And that headshot percentage, feeling ko nga, you can easily bump it up to 0.75 because that is the presence that Aiden gives out. Pero Jumpy, no? 0.71 in terms of KD, 6.7 in terms of KR and a headshot percentage. It's also much capable for Aiden. So this set actually pretty fair in my eyes. Kasi Jambi is one of those attackers or one of those fraggers na doesn't really care as long as he gets kills and he gets that opening space para sa kakampi niya. It will be a pretty nice thing to see kung paano nga ba magko-contrast tong dalawang players.
Yeah, that is true. And I feel like there is something that needs to be pointed out here because in comparison to Aiden, Jimby is just focused on ensuring that there will be someone that will be brought to the grave alongside him. But for Aiden, he always takes those multi-kills as long as it is possible to be taken with additional information then granted dito sa kanilang team. Pero let us see ano kaya ang ating mga mapa na paglalaroan for this series. Scared indeed. But we have Port, which madalas na pinivili ng TARINGBABI but are yet to take a map of that. And we also have New Mexico. Enjoy sa ating mga casters. And we also have Ankara sa ating decider if aabot tayo roon.
You know what? Sub-base is actually a good ban here coming in for Comeback Friends because TARINGBABI can easily play this out.
It's one of their good maps.
The BL side. It's one of their better maps, yeah. Port is just a statement piece for the Rosé teams, right? It's like a common map now for them. This is their Black Widow. So, Port, I would like to see them get at least more than 5 rounds. But for New Mexico, this is Comeback Friends. Sila lang yung kayang maglabas ng ganitong mapa so confident even for a Filipino team, no? Kapag kalaban nila is kapwa Pinoy. But I'm scared for TARINGBABI. We saw what happened up against Veteran when Comeback Friends was here. We saw Aiden pushing CR like it's just bots up against him dun sa may GR side nila. But Ankara, would love to see it. I doubt that we'll go to there. But hopefully, we go to that point. Yeah. If New Mexico is such a great map for Comeback Friends, hopefully mag-import din yun.
At this point, hindi ko na nga malaman kung sinasadya nilang pumili ng New Mexico, no? Kasi mamaya pala, bipolar, sinasabi lang nila, New Mexico, trip lang namin yan, pero malay mo, best maps pala nila yun, no? Baka yun talaga yung inaaral nila. Pero ipakita na nga rin natin ngayon ang ating mga predictions on our lower thirds. Would it be much more in favor on CBF? Straight 2-0s on their side, and we hope, everyone hopes that TARINGBABI proves us wrong on this one. Because in a bit, we're also gonna see if the community has the same insights as us because again, just by basing on the sheer history of both of these teams, talamak talaga yung experience na meron dito for Comeback Friends, but we're actually having some Taringbabi believers here, and this is much closer than we expected.
CrossFIRE Philippines, I love you so much. You're always giving a lot of hope here coming in for Taringbabi as well as veteran. 32% is a big community post coming in for the Rosera side, no? But for Comeback Friends, well, this is a testing point. Alam mo naman itong mga players na they're very egotistical, and given that they do have the skill set to do so, parang ma-urge lang dito ang buong Comeback Friends na, uy, sino yung 32% yan? But parang just mapapakanta lang tayo dito ng Jesus Take the Wheel kasi we don't know what's gonna happen for these two teams.
That is true, no? Parang nga ba natin malalaman yan? But I guess it's time to call upon our casters to have their insights in this matchup as well. So let us now call on Datum and as well as Ramon. And there we have it. Hello, welcome to our desk. And I hope that you guys are doing well so far. And it seems like Datum's background is very much familiar, but other than that, Ramon, hello, welcome, and what is your honest perspective with Taringbabi's status right now in the lobby?
Well, to put it into consideration, right, they're the newcomers from Rosea, and then if we compare that to veteran, they've only been here for like one event now. So I think it's kind of easier to kind of put a bit of a cushion on how we treat the perspective for Taringbabi. So they're kind of in a way in a situation where they're kind of getting used to the meta, they're kind of getting used to the pace that we kind of play here in our region. So hopefully with a few amount of steps, with a few amount of reps in the PH League, we could finally give them a little bit more of a perspective on how we play our game, and hopefully that could adapt into how they're going to be able to approach more teams.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is quite of a hot take, but I think that Taringbabi can improve more than veteran if they will be keeping this type of pace. But how about you, Dadum?
Definitely agree with you, Mochi. I feel like Taringbabi hit the ground running when they went into Masters compared to veteran. So kind of struggling when we first saw them. They were all across the board playing all sorts of weapon. At least Taringbabi had some semblance of what the PH meta looks like. And
Yes, exactly.
this is a squad that is very fearless, Mochi. I love the way this team picks maps that is their opponent's favorite. They pick the likes of Subbase against Fervid, and now they're going to Mexico. So let's go. Let's go, Taringbabi.
We just said by Comeback Friends at that. But let us see what the watch points are here. Stats don't lie for Taringbabi, Bipolar.
Yeah, this is pretty concerning, right? I mean, you have another team we call Veteran that can easily get a lot of like ratings that are very much above 0.8, but for the players coming in for Taringbabi, no player in Taringbabi has reached at least 0.8 in terms of KD coming to week number 2. So how are they going to be defeating CBF? This is a big testing point. Yes, Macray said that Comeback Friends and Virtus Pro is a team that they're looking forward to competing up against, but these stats, they need to be a little bit more higher for them to be capable of actually defeating these players, because are they just going to be trying to play up against them, or do they want to win? That's the big question here, if the stats are really saying otherwise.
That is true. All they need is to have that brain. They already have the strength, they already have the prowess, the mechanics. All they need to do is that brain. But let us see our next one. CBF is about to release some anger. With the loss against Fervid, they might blow off steam here, Ramon.
I mean, for sure, right? I mean, they had a win streak coming into the consecutive week up against Fervid, and unfortunately, they got a bit of exposure, right? A lot of their strats kind of got out-fragged out because of the firepower placed in by the players on Fervid as well. So this is a pretty good way to also kind of bounce back after that loss. And I wouldn't want to be in the shoes of Taringbabi right now. A hungry CBF that wants to get attention after the loss yesterday is not a place that I want to be in.
Yeah, especially after that history. I just remember that they just faced up against Fervin and they lost. But how about our last watch point here? Wait, that's not meta? CBF's match against veteran recorded kills from VPR12, MG36, and Jungle Knife kill data. This is a very interesting point.
Absolutely. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see more of these weapons later on. Remember our map number 2, Mochi? As we said earlier, it's going to be Mexico. This is the exact same map that CBF picked up these exact weapons. So, yeah, I'd be scared too if I was TARINGBABI.
Fascinating. Fascinating indeed. And I wonder if we're gonna see more of that, especially here against their matchup with TARINGBABI. But again, we've already laid down our thoughts, our points, our tips, and as well as pointers for improvement. And it's now about time for us to get into the action. So let us now hand it over to Ramon and Datum. Nakrakan na.
Definitely time for that, Mochi. Thank you so much with Bipolar as well. And you're joined with the Arduo, Ramon, and Datum for casting this ComebackFriends versus TARINGBABI matchup. And since this is on port, this is kind of like the home ground for the side of TARINGBABI though. So we could give them that. This is something that they've liked to play in a lot of the games that they played from the qualifiers itself, right? But it's ComebackFriends we're talking about. And so far, with what we've been seeing from the record, it's kind of like we're kind of used to seeing a PH team actually get themselves into the winning finish line up against any sort of Zaya team. Hopefully TARINGBABI can kind of change that.
Absolutely. I mean, we can't help but not root for TARINGBABI, right? They're definitely the underdogs coming into this season. They're the first timers here in Masters Southeast Asia. And well, they looked really good at the qualifier in Rosea, but as you mentioned, they have been facing a lot of loss here in the group stage at least. Port, I want to talk about that, Ramon. They have been picking this over and over again, but I could definitely see that there's a lot of lapses still when it comes to map knowledge for TARINGBABI. Hopefully, they've learned a lot ever since we saw them last in Port, where they discovered the worst way possible that you can climb up in mid through Ninja. And hopefully they've learned how to do that and counter against it, especially because it's CBF they're playing against it. These guys like to play cheesy.
They do, especially with an IGL like Tetsu. Cheesy is kind of an understatement when it comes to this matchup, right? Sometimes it gets a little bit too out of control for the liking of CBF, but considering the talent of the players, I don't think we have to worry about them too much, right? And especially considering the situation we're in right now, where TARINGBABI is trying to get the first bacon for Rosea at this point. I think CBF are just kind of rocking with their knuckles right now, just getting ready for a fist fight that unfortunately for TARINGBABI, they're gonna have to double time into trying to get that momentum right then and there. Good thing for TARINGBABI though is they have really good individuals. We mentioned a few of the highlights from Jimby, him being the player on the spotlight in the head-to-head, but I kind of want to put a little bit more emphasis on El Campe, one of the more aggressive players that we've seen on TARINGBABI, and I feel like that's one of the things that really is the key factor for how the winning spot has to be in for one of these teams. They need a little bit more of that proactivity.
Absolutely. I'm getting word here, Ramon, by the way, that there is going to be a substitution for ComebackFriends. Tetsu is going to be subbed out for Bright. Now, that is, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time they're going to be seeing Bright here in the group stage, right? So Tetsu will be subbed out, and a key thing to remember, Tetsu is the one that usually leads the charge, usually creates the plays for the team here of ComebackFriends. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of form ComebackFriends will bring into this match. I mean, of course, it is by no means a standard benchmark, but it could give a bit of a chance for TARINGBABI.
For sure, right? I mean, they're gonna lose a bit more of what you can expect from a Tetsu game, right? A lot of the wackiness, a lot of the randomness are kind of thrown out the window, but in turn, you got a clutch player in Bright. Remember, the first time that we've seen Bright was in the Swiss stage, right? And in the SGJ game, he was a pivotal player, picking up so many of the clutches to be able to knock down SGJ before they can even have a chance to qualify. So for me, I think Bright is a suitable sort of six-man, and hopefully he gets a lot more out of the experience of him playing in the Masters stage. And since we're kind of taking this time to kind of load into the port map anyways, I do want to give you a bit of a note that I kind of set for myself, right? The last time that CBF picked the New Mexico map, it was because Tetsu was running late before he could set up the map veto with the admins that we have here in CFS. It was Aiden that picked it up last time, and now Tetsu himself wanted to play that New Mexico map. I mean, this is the only team that really wanted to play that New Mexico, but that is for the later set. We're tuning into the port map, and TARINGBABI has the stronger side, so let's see if they're going to be able to get that.
Sige, dito ako.
KLP lang ako.
BR lang ako.
Ako nga mag-GC mamaya.
I can definitely feel the difference in energy between these two teams. TARINGBABI pick up 2 kills up against CBF. That's a pretty good start, to say the least, for the Roseo squad. CBF might be a little bit too lax at the beginning of it, but they reassert right towards Z, and they still have control of that B site entrance. TARINGBABI, I like the early proactivity. They did that against Fervid as well. It didn't work, but against CBF, it kind of did in round 1.
Yeah. 2 of those kills happening in the same place over at that B setup as well. It's definitely a strong start for TARINGBABI. But in the mid-round now makes the difference. Yaba puts himself in a very precarious position. And TARINGBABI does not clear it in time. Yaba puts their head on a swivel. TARINGBABI, they had the numbers, but quickly shut down by Yaba on the mid-side. 3v3. TARINGBABI on the LA position is an insurance policy, but then again, Yaba, he was on the mid-side, and now he wants to take them from behind, gets the kill on Penjat, and Protons also goes down. It's going to be down to the 1v3, but in the end, it is still a ComebackFriends winning it out.
That's gotta be tough for TARINGBABI. They got 2 kills from the get-go with the early aggression, but then Yaba sprung out from mid, got a couple of kills, and then went to CA. I feel like TARINGBABI just took a little bit too much time to set up for the LA play, which granted CBA the position. And this time, TARINGBABI will pivot away from B, will go towards mid instead, where they got hit earlier. Instant adjustment for TARINGBABI.
Of course, something that we kind of been wanting out from TARINGBABI in the perspective, but for CBF, it's always been the individuals that have been shining through, right? I mean, we talk about the structure of this team, the lack of a boot camp, the less amount of the org support that you can't accept from anybody in Masters, but Aldrin and Aiden quickly shutting down 2 from TARINGBABI. Penjahat does get the kill on the veterans, which is a 3v4 in CBF, going back to Turtle.
Mid, it's just a kill box. Was pushing with 1 HP alongside Yaba. And that's a kill for Protons, but a nice little trade from Yaba keeps CBF ahead. 2 players left. Look at TARINGBABI, Ramon. They haven't pushed anywhere. And Yaba is already pressing the issue. Bright is also pushing down to courts, but Penjahat will punish him. That's a 1 kill for the sniper. 2v2, Ramon.
And Yaba, he's going to be pushing in. Of course he's going to push in. He wants to take the kills over to TARINGBABI. And they cannot get any response whatsoever. Penjahat, it seemed a lot of moves come through from this young sniper from TARINGBABI. He is the lone one on TARINGBABI's side. And he is alone up against Yaba, who also picks up another kill for CBF. Oh, no. That is 7 for Yaba, and that's 2 rounds for CBF.
Yeah, a bit of spice from Yaba as well. Putting extra lead in his opponents just in case. But that is 7 kills on the board for Yaba. A perfect KD so far. Aiden up above the bridge, barely surviving. But he will do so for now. TARINGBABI, they take too much time on the setup, Ramon. I mean, I like that they have setups now, but it's just a lot of space garnered by CBF from the amount of time TB tries to get the angles going. Yaba again in control of LA, and he's pushing Ramon.
He has to. Yaba doing it again, almost with the transfer. He could have gotten 2 kills. And quickly, TARINGBABI take control over that LA position. Aldrin trying to do the best that he can to resuscitate the round. As it now becomes a 3v3 with LA being secured by Jinbi. To get some early space. Doesn't even know the player onside of Bodega. Aldrin down. Protons in a second. CBF are going down left and right because of the LA push from TARINGBABI. It's all down to Woos. Swaps from the sniper into the HK. Trying to play around the smoke, but he is no criminal for CBF. It's TARINGBABI to get their first point.
And ComebackFriends getting fired up. You could see the mid-rounding there, Ramon. Did you see what TARINGBABI did? They paused after the smoke setup has been laid through exit, through bridge, just to let CBF come in. And they baited them successfully. And I like this, TARINGBABI, they actually have a mid-round now. Penjahat with the punishment. And that is the Rosea sniper coming into play. Man advantage, TARINGBABI.
They kind of got an early round that they wanted to. They praised their mid-round early on, but the early stages where they have to get that first point because of the sniper placed up on B is also another key improvement that we're seeing from TARINGBABI right now. The step 1 and step 2 focused on, but they have it to convert the round entirely. Mid-aggression coming through from the side of TARINGBABI.
And look at Yaba again, looking for kills. Looking at CA, looking at LA. And this is the problem TARINGBABI currently faces. They don't put any player in control of either CA or LA, which lets Yaba just do this over and over again. Ramon, this is the 4th round that Yaba's pushed LA, and he's never been punished.
Exactly. And he also has a kind of the proactivity to go back if he needs some more, or he needs to be the support for his team, knowing that that mid side's also a key factor for TARINGBABI. We go down to the 1 minute mark. Both teams respecting each other. Yaba on the peak also spots out one. That's El Campe on that mid setup. But both teams not trying to give an inch over to the other. And I'm kind of expecting Penjat to punish Yaba if he has the mechanics. Good shot onto him. Bright will get the 2K over to Jimby and El Campe. All the work that TARINGBABI are trying to do is getting shut down by one singular player. That was the sub. Coming through from ComebackFriends, Aiden pressured on, knowing that TARINGBABI want to get that B-side space. Protons walking in and takes down Aiden, but Aldrin still on the trade. 2v2.
2v2, Bright and Aldrin going up against two of the players here. Protons picking up the first onto Bright, going under, and he will get taken down by Aldrin now on a 1v1, and he jumps up to the box, and that's a quick, easy double kill. CBF holding curve and holding it successfully. As you said, Ramon, all it takes is one person, and TARINGBABI making one tiny slip up. They didn't check curve, and they got punished big time.
Huge for CBF in those moments. This is where kind of the individual play style or the individuals shine through for CBF, where TARINGBABI, they kind of lose out on the macro. They do actually get themselves a good push over to the B site. But again, the conversion's not working out for them. No. Aiden, he was jumping, and he still somehow gets the shot on El Campe. Protons on the other side. We'll try to resuscitate the round out for TB as Woos will lay the shot down on Penjahat. The early stages from TB is crumbling by the second.
And there's a lot of disrespect by the way CBF are playing this. They keep re-peeking angles. Ramon, that is not an angle you re-peek as the sniper in LB, but Woos just did so. That's why he was able to get the punish onto Penjahat, who is now down for the count. And CBF getting the man advantage this time around. Round number 5. And TARINGBABI again. Lots of setups, but it's just taking too much time. No space gotten yet.
And a lot of hesitation should be thrown out the window, especially if you kind of have...
Look at Woos.
Work with
That's
Woos
a sniper.
on the other side. A sniper turned into a shotgun from Woos' perspective. Yaba on the other side as well, taking advantage of Jangar, trying to adjust to the pace and tempo of CBF, but there is no working around when everybody from CBF is pushing on all sides. That's a 4-1 for the side of the GR.
And as you said, Ramon, there just feels like a lot of hesitation for TARINGBABI in looking for these early fights. Just take the fights. They can win them. We saw them win a lot of the fights. And there you go. Penjahat with a sniper shot onto Aldrin.
This night, step 1 taken, but Bright quickly shuts that down. Erased by Yaba. Bright on the second as well. This guy is stepping up. And why is he on the sub roll? He is frying TB at this very moment. Penjahat, what a nice shot onto Aiden, but he is alone up against Bright, who also picks up a 3K. Enough to take control of the port map.
Yeah, Penjahat being the only beacon of hope for TARINGBABI, but that's the only couple of duels that they won was through Penja. Everything else went in the way of CBF, who is now 4 rounds ahead. Ramon, and they're pushing for LB again, LA rather, and it's Aiden. This time, not Yaba anymore. Early kill onto Jimby, who gets caught pants down again. CBF is pushing further. That's another kill for Aiden, and Yaba on the board.
This is the classic, when we know we're confident to take the duels, we're just going to push you out towards the spawn side.
Oh my.
Bright will get the frag on El Campe. And when you have both Aiden and Bright pushing at the same time on 2 separate entrances, there was no hope for TARINGBABI. They can't secure any space on the map.
Absolutely. Couldn't have put it any better myself, Ramon. There just is no space to work with for TARINGBABI. CBF are choking the life out of this port map. Look at Bright. He's about to catch 3 players going up into CA. No. And Bright has not been spotted. No way! Getting 3, Ramon, quite easily. And that is just 2 he gets, but that is more than damage enough.
That's definitely enough for Bright. He dismantles the whole of TARINGBABI. The execute could not even start at the entrance line. CBF with their 6-man stepping in has not given TARINGBABI any space to breathe.
And you love to see it. Bright with the firepower. Yaba with the lurk and CBF with complete domination on the GR side. Yaba's not done. Ramon, he's hunting.
He's pushing into Penjat. He is prepared for Yaba, who's been doing this time and time again. Now some pushback for TARINGBABI on the early round. As they now aggress towards the mid-side. Aldrin on the sniper. Bright gets the shot on Penjat. Whatever early round TB has been trying to work through, CBF are just taking it away second by second. Aldrin
Proton
pushes a little bit too far. Proton's on the second kill as well. He is alone in a 1v2. Damage done onto him as well. And Badaden just trying to be a nuisance on the other side of Long B. It is an impossible task. An nade thrown out. Proton's jumping into him. But it's Aiden to serve the victory on a silver platter.
It's one of the fastest halves we've had here in the group stage. 8-1 for ComebackFriends here in Port. And TARINGBABI, the BL side, has been completely dismantled by ComebackFriends. Completely dismantled by Yaba. And of course, the 6-man Bright. It just feels like ComebackFriends have got this figured out. At least, well, the silver lining for TARINGBABI, Ramon, is they're going to the global risk side. So they have an opportunity to get a better timing in terms of the duels, but they also use a timeout. A very curious timing of the timeout, but you can see Jimby trying to assess the situation, trying to give his teammates a bit of direction, which is obviously exactly what TARINGBABI needs, I think.
For sure. It's not every day that you see a timeout after we swap sides, right? I mean, it's respectable. I can see the reason why they have a game plan set on their GR side, and considering as well that this is a side that is heavily favored on the port map as well. Maybe TARINGBABI need a bit more time to kind of set their defaults. Maybe kind of remind everybody where the positions have to be on the early rounds. But again, it's not really common that you see this time and time again. Normally, teams would want to do this if they're heavily down on rounds. But for TB, just need a little bit more time to work through that.
Exactly. Would have preferred the timeout maybe in the 7th round or 6th round where they were constantly getting berated by Yaba in LA or Bright getting pushed from Z and mid. TARINGBABI seemingly haven't figured out that the key to shutting them down is by punishing the pushes, but better late than never, Ramon. We're going into the second half here. TARINGBABI seems to be having a plan at least. They could actually pull exactly what CBF were doing earlier. Just take the fights. I mean, Penjahat has been getting a couple of nice kills here and there, so why not put another player on the sniper and put Penjahat pushing, perhaps in LB, to push towards court, find a bit of space. Let's see. I wonder what the plan is, because you gotta remember, Ramon, if there's ever any chance for this squad to take a win, it's in this map.
Has to be one of their favorite maps to pick into. That and sub base being the two weapons that they like to kind of pivot to if they need some comfort. Shown that all throughout their qualification. But it's a different stage and it's a different set of opponents for TARINGBABI, and also an opportunity for Rosea to finally get a stand. Ever since spring, it hasn't been the brightest of lights for them. As in a lot of the close encounters, a lot of what we've been expecting from Rosea, it's been nothing short of disappointment, right? But maybe TARINGBABI could change the script this time around. As it's an 8-1, we're going to the second half. Let's listen to the comms.
May kaliwa ko.
Dua lebih, pre. Dua lebih.
Ah.
Tiga.
87. Dalaway.
Still a lot more proactive in the comments for TARINGBABI, but it is CBF coming out on top in the fight.
Bright?
Yaba on the USP, and Bright has slipped through somehow to the back end. Jimby is just gonna get wallbanged, and CBF have taken control of B side. Penjahat finds a trade, but that is all TARINGBABI gets for now.
Bright was just a nuisance. He was just somebody who was trying to get info and lurked all around this TARINGBABI's GR, as it's already back on the other side of the map, planted at C4. And Jangar, Penjahat, all the pressure, all the eyes on the last two. Trying to scrape by and see if they can punish a CBF, but they barely have any damage. Just Foo's having a bit of that Yaba with 1 and a second for Yaba single-handedly dismantling the retake. It is ComebackFriends on set point.
And did you see the angle Yaba was holding as well, Ramon? He wasn't even hiding behind cover, just outside the smoke. We're ready to challenge, no matter how many enemies we're pushing from TARINGBABI. As Yaba pushes yet again in mid, Jim B is just a stranger to the USP. He doesn't know what's coming, but Aiden has to know Protons is there. And he does. And he connects the shot. CBF just winning every duel, Ramon. Yaba on the board. Woos as well. And it is just a clinic in port. Comeback and friends take another win.
And it was just quick and easy as that from the 2 rounds that we've had on this second half. ComebackFriends, where the break time and the time between timeouts is longer for when they're confident in the rounds that they've been playing so far. When they play like this, right? It's a very big behemoth when you're playing up against ComebackFriends. They did this without Tetsu in the lineup. Imagine that when you have your leader who is the one trying to leash off your dogs playing up against TARINGBABI. But then you have Bright who actually becomes one of a beast when you actually activate him on that GR side. So quickly you got your star players on CBF becoming more than enough without that structure that we kind of expect from this team alone.
Exactly. Well, to be fair, it felt like they didn't really need a lot of structure for that GR side in port. They needed firepower, and Bright was there to deliver. Yaba as well. I wonder how many kills Yaba get this entire match, but it was a very impressive showing for CBF. Not showing any signs of slowing down despite the IGL going MIA for today's match, but well, a lot of credit due for CBF here and their shenanigans in port. But I'd like to acknowledge a little bit of improvement that I saw here for TARINGBABI, Ramon. They actually are trying to get the setups going. It's just that they still haven't figured out how to get a proper timing against a team that is not afraid to take the fight. I feel like that's it, Ramon. They just have to fight the duels, and I think they're gonna have a better chance here in Mexico as well.
We have already measured our expectations from the team, let alone. So the bar is understandably on the ground as we speak. So little small increments of improvement does go a long way for this team entirely, right? And we kind of respect the individuals, kind of show their own plays. But then again, you can't really play individualistic when you're coming up against a CBF that has all the experience in the world as well the firepower enough to kind of dismantle a team that is not prepared for that at all. So with port out of the way, we move into that New Mexico later on. If you're already expecting the chaos from port, I think it's gonna go tenfold in this map for CBF, right, Tatum?
I think tenfold is an understatement, even given the proximity here in Mexico. There's too many close quarters. There's a lot of cheeky angles, and you already saw Yaba making the most out of that mid area in port. Imagine Yaba going in Porto, maybe in CR, maybe becoming a rat on the BL side. It's absolutely interesting prospect to even imagine, and Bright as well. I mean, given that it is as a 6-man here for Bright, whenever we see a 6-man sub in for these games, usually they like setting records. I mean, you talk about Revenge subbing in for SDS. He instantly got a record. Dolph subbing in last season and instantly got a record as the SDS player. Bright, you would imagine, will be trying to get some semblance of the numbers game here, unless Yaba can stop him. I'm sorry to say a teammate is stopping another teammate from getting a record, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, man. It could be a race between themselves or a race for the side of TARINGBABI as they're trying themselves to actually break that record of getting that first win for Rosea. As we now move over to the second set, we're going to be moving over to the panel as well. Mochi and Bipolar on the panel desk are going to be talking out through after the first set.
Everything's been well except for the status of TARINGBABI. Unfortunately, they got demolished here by ComebackFriends, which isn't great at all. But similarly to what Dado mentioned, I feel like there is a bit of improvement that we can say here on the mechanical level. But still, I feel like CBF is just moving a bit too fast before it can register truly for TARINGBABI.
Yeah, you said it quite clearly, right, Mochi? They move too fast for TARINGBABI to actually, mentalize what's happening. For the entirety of their BL side, there was a round where in 6th round, I think it was the 6th round on the BL side of TARINGBABI, they were trying to get CA, and by the time that they actually got the setup and they were throwing their smokes up, already Bright was there behind them. he got the timing to get into mid and to get into the ladder of CA. Meanwhile, the players of TARINGBABI was instantly just looking at A side, feeling that they were safe somewhat because it was the the smallest area of the map that they could have think of. But what else can we say, right? I mean, yeah, given the fact that this team actually has set up plays, but I feel like that's out of the way that's out of the way coming in for ComebackFriends. Because what can these setup plays do when your setup is instantly negated to a fact from an immediate rig from Bright of CBF? So I feel like yes, they have the mechanics, they have the basic form of a team, but it's not enough to basically close out a CBF that is not even complete. Tetsu is out for just sheer problems from his own peripherals, but for Bright to step up in his name, getting a lot of kills, garnering more than 10 kills, it's amazing. Plus Yaba is here to make a point that Aiden and Audrey are not just the threat that you should look out for CBF. Also, he is here to fight all throughout. Yeah, amazing port. It all seems too familiar for CBF. This is the place where he also instantly cleared off veteran. This was the actual round that I was talking about. This actual round number 8.
But again, it seems like here in the map of court, there was like a lot of moments wherein our members here from TARINGBABI doesn't even know where some of our players here from ComebackFriends are. They have a habit of challenging things that they don't really truly know yet. So I feel like it's very, very important to put patience into play because again, it looks quite tough, especially to some members that we have here from TARINGBABI. But I really want to applaud Benjahat. I mean, the only anchor that we have here, definitely ensuring that somehow he won't be going down without a fight alongside with Protons. But here for ComebackFriends is just another day for them. It appears that ever since the first week up until now, they are still the CBF that we knew, but it keeps on getting better.
Yeah, it just keeps on getting better. I would like to address the fact here that Jangar is also a sixth man coming in for TARINGBABI, but congratulations to Yetja before I say congratulations to Yaba because his stat line of being the worst stat line now is defeated. But Yaba, one of the best right now, 6.33 KD. Goddamn, Yaba, you are insane of giving us something of a expertise in port, man. 100% rating, and that's merely the fact that Yaba just keep on pushing in this in the map of port.
That's a lot, no? 6.33 KD. Where did you last see that? I mean, maybe even more. Last time is like KSA, right?
Yeah.
From last the league, and now it's on the hands of Yaba. And I guess that is where our first map of port ends, and later on we will see if TARINGBABI can get this a bit more closer to make it a bit more doable for them. Please, good luck, TARINGBABI. But for now, we will be saying bye-bye. And after a quick break, we will be back. Hi everyone, and we're now back still in our second series of the day. It is still TARINGBABI versus ComebackFriends. Wherein earlier on we saw how CBF has been able to take the wheel and drive TARINGBABI for a ride here in port, and it's quite a fun and pleasant experience for them, I assume. And this time, I wonder if there will be quite a fun answer that we are awaiting here from TARINGBABI. Hopefully, make it a bit more closer, perhaps here in our next one.
Yeah, I feel like hopefully there would be coming in for TARINGBABI's sake, because right now it just seems like they're getting a roller coaster of emotions wherein they're the ones in front of the whole ride, not inside of the seats. They're just getting rammed by the entirety of ComebackFriends, and they're just catching bodies at this point, and they're just getting mowed down every time they're getting contact plays out here. But it's gonna be New Mexico, our map here for number 2, or for set number 2, a map where it's been a pocket pick now, or a mainstay for the map pool of ComebackFriends, where they're just out here having fun. Plus, if you remember quite clearly, last time that we played here with ComebackFriends, they whipped out the signature double Vepper double shotgun. Somewhat, some would say it's an SMG, but because if you look at the storage, it's in this SMG section, but it's a shotgun actually. So if that comes out here, I hopefully Comeback Friends gives a little bit of a good time for TARINGBABI, because TARINGBABI, we can see that they're prepared for this kind of setup for Comeback Friends, since we did see them last time up against Veteran. But I hope it's not gonna be the same kind of thing where we see a G3 killing everyone in the lobby, a Viper as well, or a knife kill coming in from Yaba. But with the movement that Yaba is doing right now, it might be possible that they might close out at 2-0.
Yeah, that is sure. It would be also quite of a more, maybe much of a playground here for Comeback Friends to just wreak havoc all across New Mexico. And that is why I'm pretty sure that our casters will enjoy it. So let us hand it over to Ramon and as well as Daedom.
That's right, Mochi. We're going to be enjoying New Mexico as we see it. Comeback Friends, definitely in seat for a map that they like to pull out time and time again, right? And to take note, this was not Aiden's doing anymore. This was Tetu all over this choice of picking this New Mexico, right? And TARINGBABI, they're going to have to work double time to try to see if they're going to be expecting. What weapon is it going to be for CBF this time around? Is it going to be a Vepr? Is it going to be a Chris? I mean, they can just throw all the weapons out the window right now, Daedom.
I would like to see some shotguns. Maybe a chainsaw? A chainsaw maybe? Tetsu, if you hear me right now, bring out a chainsaw, my friend. But here's the thing, Ramon. I mean, last time you said it was Aiden that picked the map. This time it actually is a Tetsu pickup, so it seems like it wasn't a mistake after all. Maybe the whole Aiden thing was a ruse. Maybe CBF are actually polishing up their New Mexico. I mean, you gotta remember who we're talking about here. CBF, this is a team with the high dreams. They want to make it through the playoffs, maybe make it into the top 3 of Masters this time around. So maybe this is all a ruse, but actually, in actuality, CBF are perfecting their Mexico. Who knows? We're gonna see as we head into our set number 2. But I want to talk about their opponents here a little bit, Ramon. TARINGBABI. I feel like they have a lot of hesitation when it comes to just taking the fights. I mean, we saw a lot of the nice shots from Penjahat, from Jimby as well. Protons had a almost clutch couple of moments. Just a little bit more could have been the clutch actually, but I feel like TARINGBABI hesitates a lot. They kind of look scared from my perspective. I feel like if I were to give a piece of advice for TARINGBABI, it's just go ham, take the fight.
Yep.
Just go all in.
This is one of those moments where it doesn't really sound too bad to bring your ranked game tendencies into the pro games, right? Considering that you are trying to make a name for yourself as a region, you kind of have that hesitation, that small tendency to try to backtrack whenever you try to get themselves to space. I mean, this is a good time to actually become more aggressive and be a little bit more proactive when it comes to being on that PL side, which to us has been a focal point for how that port map actually went for TARINGBABI. They played a little bit too scared. Sorry for the words, right? Because it really is what we kind of saw from TARINGBABI at that point, right? Almost, but never quite enough when it comes to those conversions. So hopefully we see that be a different case this time around as we now head in towards that New Mexico. The unpredictability now added into this matchup. And CBF are going to try to reinforce that.
What the hell, Blanc?
Kanina pa ako nanonood.
Still calm on the comms, but Aiden is not calm on the aim. That's 2 quick kills for Aiden, immediately looking for the third, and he successfully gets that, ever making it look easy. Penjahat spots him out. So that's a nice little trade from TARINGBABI, but that is the only thing they get, Ramon.
Yeah. It's all the small things that they can hope for. Especially with Aiden already crossing to the face. Taking control of Tapsu and now forcing that 1-0. Aiden, yet again, back-to-back rounds, but he wants to get that early aggression out from TARINGBABI. He's now trying to work around the waters. Alcampe not prepared for the fight. Aiden gets that shot. Protons, the first frag. The M14 sings in the hands of TARINGBABI as they try to restrict them from going out in lane as Yaba puts into 2 kills over to TARINGBABI into a 4 versus 2, and they're running over to the B side.
It's an all-out RM game for CBF, and they are not slowing down. Yaba, 2 quick kills. Aiden, 4th on the board. Jimby strikes back with 1 on 2. Ooh, and Benjahat makes a name for himself against Yaba. It's all up to Aiden now, who already got 2 kills in this game. In this round, rather. Gets taken down to 19 HP, and he runs away trying to get control of the bomb. Benjahat is not gonna let that happen. Nice little throwaway, and TARINGBABI put themselves on the board.
Using a nade, the same weapon that Yaba uses to get 1/2 of the kills in the same round. Getting a taste of their own medicine, CBF. I'm actually trying to think if they're going to put some respect into TB and their GR. Looks like that's not going to be the case. CR controlled by a majority of the players of CBF as the lane pressure. It was notable for TB, but it's easy as one smoke to push on lane to try to get themselves over to the post. Aldrin gets shot on the sniper. Benjat goes down. Protons on the first for the side of TB, but Jimby quickly shuts down Aiden. No space taken by CBF as now the B site wide open and Jangar's all alone on that side.
Jagar still finds Aldrin. Was on the trade out, and here comes the Vapor of Yaba. Of course, Ramon, it was only a matter of time. I was about to say, maybe it's time to slow things down, CBF, especially for Aiden, who's been constantly rushing these sites. But Yaba doesn't care. He simply just wants to play his game, and so does Woos, as he takes down El Compe. That's CBF, 2-1.
Nicely done from CBF. Now showing a little bit more of that unpredictability with the Vapor in hand for Yaba in that round. And in this particular, easy to keep the same thing going. Bright. Now the water player, but TB actually forcing themselves on water early on, but they haven't cleared out Bright. And the corner has not been checked by El Compe. Bright with the pistol. And could actually get the second kill as well. Jimby good on the trade. Tapsu controlled by TB, but in the end, Aldrin so trying to force the fight on Benjahat. Sa 4v3.
Jimby, you still gotta respect this man. Has got a high headshot percentage, and that's the one. That's the second. Jimby, quick double kill. Puts TB in contention of this game, of this round yet again. It's Yaba and Woos left. Just like in the last round. And look at this, Ramon. They're not getting the C4 just so they could bait out perhaps a couple of players from TARINGBABI as Woos explores towards that A site. Jangar has been spotted. Moves back to a safer angle. And again, 2 versus 2. Yaba and Woos going up against Jangar and Protons.
So making individual 1v1s placed up onto for both teams right now. As Protons, he's taking too much time on clearing both of the angles. And he swings into one. Yaba's down. Woos on the trade. Good for them to get that B site itself. So it's down towards Jangar and Woos. A fake tap to try to get Jangar to swing in his tap walk. Actually, gonna confuse Woos. He pulls out the knife and Jangar wins at the 1v1. TARINGBABI closes in the 2-2.
Woos getting in his own head a little bit too much there. Wasn't expecting the last player from TARINGBABI to go where he was going in Arco. And Aldrin picks up a kill. Here in Waters, right on the board as well. And Benjat finally makes an entrance here from Arc. So find a kill for TARINGBABI to make it doable, but still CBF with the man advantage here.
And also that Waters control that the TB is not even aware of right now. Aldrin with a headshot on the sniper. Benjat on the trade as well. It's a 2v3 with TB down. And it's out of status mode that CBF are not even pushing with the C4. They want to get the kills. And Jangar gets the one. Aldrin on the swing. But it's not just a 1v1 between 2 players having a sniper, but it's a pistol 1v1, and it's almost like Aldrin wanted that duel time and time again. ComebackFriends to get the lead.
And I think Aldrin knew exactly where Benjahat was coming from because he slipped a little bit from the tap walk. And that's the thing. You have to remember with TARINGBABI, they're still getting used to the mechanics that we are already accustomed to here in the Philippines. El Compe, 2 kills on the board quickly. CR is in their domain, but Yaba makes it CBF in congestion as Jangar just gets overwhelmed by Aiden and Aldrin. That's a sight for CBF.
The classic double attacker push from Ali in towards the side of House. Overwhelming TB on the anchor itself, so forcing Benjat down. He's already sniped out by Aldrin. And Protons dead by his tracks. Yaba gonna get that headshot. It's a 4-2 for CBF. They're getting more confident as the round progresses.
I mean, I respect TARINGBABI. They're attempting to take spaces from their enemies, but sometimes they're just a little bit uncareful of their angles out there and not careful of the bomb. And that is him getting spotted by an HE. El Compe on water. Finds a shot onto Yabas, who's trades it back onto the enemy sniper. 4 versus 3. And TARINGBABI has to make the most out of this advantage.
Especially that they also dropped the C4 over at that water position as well. Good usage of the double man to try to use the nade as well as the double swing. Overwhelm CBF as Protons maintains control over to post, not letting Woos the sniper get himself the kill. It's a 2 versus 4, and because of the smoke, CBF are taking this very, very slow into the approach. With the shadow itself, Bright gets the shot on Jimby, gets the trade from Aiden. It's now down to just him in the 1v2. We've seen miracles come through from Aiden. And it's not just up against TARINGBABI. It's from any team that he's placed up against in Masters so far. But this time, it does not work out for him. TARINGBABI, because of the water's hold, get the round.
And Jangar swinging for that final kill signals to Miramon that TARINGBABI have come to play. They're not gonna give Mexico away. CBF might have to go for an actual default this time. But Yaba says, nope. I'm gonna pick up the shotgun. Aldridge is gonna be on the sniper. He's gonna climb up and assist his teammates to get CR, and he will get a kill in the process. The Vector from Yaba is just gonna be used to enter one of the sites as Aiden provides support. Double kill for the shotgun, and Yaba is looking for the third. Easily gets that, and he is just turboing his way through Mexico.
Putting this in disrespect for Yaba. With that 3K on the Vapor, a gun that you normally don't see outside of New Mexico. But for Yaba, this is his domain. The CBF, they're gonna pump the brakes out as they try to get control over Ali. Aldrin's already on the face of Jangar. Bright on the shot as well. Everybody is just trading the snipers as Aiden will also get Jimby in the process. 3v2. Penjot has no idea who's on the shot. A backstab into Penjot as it's a 1v3 for Protons, but Woo's on the Colt will grab the 6-3 scoreline. ComebackFriends has New Mexico with their name all over it.
And it might not look like the biggest advantage for the moment, but when you consider this is on the BL side, the CBF got a 3-round advantage in the most GR-sided map of them all. It's just deadly here. TARINGBABI almost all going down to the STS lineup. It is Jimby to find the kill onto Bright. Yapa still on the shotgun. And I like this. TARINGBABI, they had the lineup, but they couldn't get the kills.
Seems like somebody was watching the grand finals of spring for STS MVP. Now imagine that. If only somebody got killed from the lineups itself, then that would have been a highlight moment for them. But we're going to take that 4v4. Especially considering that Aiden as well as Yaba are low on HP. But remember, in normal circumstances, this is going to be crucial for TB. But they also have to fight up against a Vepr close range on CR with a smoke place on the faces.
Oh my! Aiden! No! It's a good thing that Jimby can find the answer, but Woos also does the same. I was about to say this was TARINGBABI's chance, but again, the hesitation, Ramon. And suddenly there's a Vepr right in their face. There's a TRG as well. And it's just the ComebackFriends show all over again. 7-3.
It's overwhelming for TARINGBABI. They had a good early because of the 1-for-1 that they've had. And they also got a lot of damage onto CBF. But as the mid-round progresses, the experience has really taken shape with how well they're able to pressure that CR.
Aiden. Oh my
but taking
God.
over with that, there's Aiden with the shot as well. Penjot just running and gunning them down. And an M14 spray from Ali is good enough to get 2. But Woos is still here. The long shot still oppressive for them as Bright with the trigger discipline gets the shot in, gets the second as well. The lights are just too damn bright for TARINGBABI. As Yaba will get the Vepr shot onto El Campi as well. ComebackFriends dominate this GR half.
And it's these kinds of scenarios that TARINGBABI kind of throw away. Bright just slipped past from there behind. And you have to remember, Mo, that is where TARINGBABI pushed. No one was looking there behind. And Bright just made the most out of that. That's just a little bit too carefree on the playstyle. TARINGBABI, you have to watch your flank. You have to watch your front as well because Aiden is right there.
Right there, right behind you. Bright again. Bright is just talking on them. TP had no business taking control of BR anymore. Especially with Bright, with how fast he is on the back lines.
Ouch.
And there's nothing that TB can do. But Penjat all alone, he's been good so far on 10 kills. But against CBF just scouring all around him, he'll only get one. But the damage has been done. ComebackFriends on series point.
That's gotta be some sort of a record from Bright. The sheer number of lurks he's been able to pull in Mexico. Ramon, is just ridiculous. Protons pushing, they're fighting TARINGBABI, and that is one kill. Protons looking for the second. This is how you're supposed to play Crossfire, TARINGBABI. That's a nice little quick out push. And Woo's holding to hold the line, but his teammates are all gone. That's one. Has to find 4 more. Aiden will be left in the backup, and he's doing it. Ramon, 3 kills for Woos and Aiden, as Aiden is up for the task of a 1v4. Bomb planted, Jangar on the fight, Aiden on the box, and Jangar will be putting him down to 1 and the 0. CBF finally getting challenged, and TARINGBABI finding control.
That's what we've been looking for, Datham. Rank match mode activated for Protons. Being the solo push with that M14, just jumping all around with the movement with that M14 itself. Just enough to overwhelm them. Bright going too far on the Jimpy, but he still wins out on the fight. Eden and Woo's trying to get themselves that CR control, but TB, how did they even give up the kill over to Bright?
I know. Aiden, he just peeks, man. Just gets the kill. Jangar is getting challenged as well. CBF suddenly have taken control of the entirety of stairs and alley, and they don't know where they're at. TARINGBABI left guessing, but they do find Woos. They do find Aiden. So it's suddenly the 3 versus 2 that TARINGBABI have lost control of. Jangar playing deep near hotel, near their RS. But they do get the kill onto Bright. Too deep on the lurk, and TARINGBABI have learned to punish the mistakes of Bright.
They're in good positions as well to kind of talk it out in the mid-round. Starting over from RS into the waters push that only one guy is close enough to try to stop them on their tracks. Maybe a portal push? This late in the round? Just gonna try to actually give that info on the other side. Very risky on the push, TB. I respect the balls, but this is also giving a lot of time for Yaba to reposition.
Oh, they got the perfect setup for it too. Yaba from under. Sniper shot coming through all the way from outside, and Aldrin, it's easy pickings for him. That's one. Jangar, it's just a matter of time. They know exactly where Jangar is going to come from because nobody else could have thrown that nade. And Yaba, oh look, Yaba. Yaba's got a knife in his hands. But Aldrin's not going to let that happen. They're not going to let Mexico go away, and ComebackFriends with a quick 2-0.
Talked about it, no Tetsu. But firepower in the form of Bright, as well as everybody else is firing on all cylinders, is enough. More than enough for ComebackFriends to get themselves that 2-0. A New Mexico that quickly is becoming their favorite. And the amount of guns that we've seen from Yaba, I mean, he was flexing around that Vepr. I don't think there was ever a time that he actually picked up an HK as well as an M14. This guy just wanted to run rampant with that, with the Vepr in hand. But overall, I think the confidence from this New Mexico for ComebackFriends has been on a different level ever since they started picking that up in the early stages of this group stage. And I kind of would feel like the CBF team is continuously becoming more confident and confident as we started our group stage because of the individuals, man.
Absolutely. A quick recovery from that fervid loss. CBF looking absolutely lovely off of just a quick timeout, a couple of days not playing, and they're back here and showing us exactly what they can do. Although, TARINGBABI, there was actually a particular part of this game where they kind of looked able to challenge CBF. That was around round number 13 or 14 where they actually rushed and pushed and got a couple of kills, and CBF looked alarmed for a second to the point where TARINGBABI actually won a round or two. But then, you know, that mishap with Portal happened and it was just too late in the round. If you want to make the most out of Portal, you have to open the door the moment the round starts. That's how you keep your enemies guessing. And I guess that you can attribute that to just sheer map control, sheer map knowledge that TARINGBABI ultimately is still lacking for now. But you can see what they can do, Ramon, when they start rushing and fighting.
For sure, right? I mean, you just have to remind these players that they're playing a game where they can just take over if they want to just hold W, right? And I think that's one of the things that has been missing from what we want to see out of the macro from this play in particular, and that is the whole W strategy. We've seen that from Protons with the round that you're referencing. He was a key player on how they were able to finally get the decisive round that they were looking for. But if Protons could somehow initiate that sort of mentality, like we could try to be a bit more aggressive, maybe TARINGBABI could get that improvement that they're looking for. But for now, we celebrate the small victories that we've had. They've had that improvement from how they're approaching this game. But overall, the win still goes over to ComebackFriends and how well they're able to get themselves at New Mexico very, very decisively. And for now, we're going to be wrapping up this series 2-0 for ComebackFriends. Mochi and Bipolar, I hope you guys enjoyed the series that we've had.
Well, always. Thank you so much, casters, Didum, and as well as Ramon. And although, just a few things, I didn't expect that it would be quite of an explosive one, even for the side of TARINGBABI during our New Mexico map Bipolar. It's not quite that bad.
Yeah, in New Mexico, there was a lot of times where ComebackFriends actually played a little bit slower than we expected because they were always in a 2v2 scenario, or at least the numbers dwindled down to a point where TARINGBABI had a chance to play more rounds that they could have garnered here on New Mexico. So yeah, very different pace. TARINGBABI had a little bit of chance there, but of course, in ComebackFriends, they'll be very egotistical with those Vipers. Mochi, we saw it. They never took that away from their inventories. But it is going to be exciting, though, that ComebackFriends is already 2-0 now into their standings. A very good record so far for them. But for TARINGBABI, I feel like a little bit more practice and a little bit more, research might be needed here for the upcoming games, because ComebackFriends is one of the middle teams here, and if they falter just like this even more, what more can we say if they're up against the top dogs coming from CrossFire?
Couldn't agree more what you have mentioned. Well, dude, I hope that TARINGBABI already finds their footing onto the scene, and I hope that this league becomes quite of a decent adjustment phase for them, because again, we couldn't reiterate this enough, the fact that their players already has that mechanical aspect of pretty similar to how we play here in the scene. It's already there. All they have to do is to be a bit more careful and a bit more creative, communicate and ensure that everyone is on the same page. You can't let anyone lose, and maybe unless you're Kano or something, but you get the drill, So again, a nice try for TARINGBABI, and for ComebackFriends. Well, seems like they're schedule, or like their scores overall, is already back into stability after removing that loss recently.
There's something to also look at, though, for ComebackFriends. With Tetsu being out, we can definitely see that the team is also lacking those kind of like mid-rounding calls, because they derive off that coming from Tetsu. And now that he's out of the game, we can see more of like little holes that they cannot patch up immediately. They need a little bit more time in the rounds. That's why we're getting into the long games. But looking at it, though, they're still pretty confident. Bright, sixth man of the year coming here for ComebackFriends, that he's actually getting a lot of action in this fight, giving a lot of like powers towards ComebackFriends to actually be able to win the rounds, right? But in the early parts of New Mexico, we can see some greatness coming from Jimby as well as Benja. Look at this, Mochi. I would like to add this as well. Indonesian powerhouse is mostly snipers, and they're so good. I feel like the snipers coming in from this region is somewhat to look out for even more. And nonetheless, though, I feel like ComebackFriends will say that they didn't really have a hard time here. They just had fun. Yaba, generational plays once again. When he's online, you can definitely see that he's online, because he's just mowing down everybody coming in from TARINGBABI. And yeah, what else can we say? It's ComebackFriends in a pure dominating fashion pagdating dito sa ating New Mexico. So I feel like we can pull it down. Unahan na kita. Kasi it's just too much now for me.
Sige, go lang. Pero yun nga, feeling ko yun yung maganda sa galawan dito ni Yaba, yung fact na consistent siya, and other than that, pagka nagpakita siya ng lakas niya, talagang obvious na obvious. So let's see. Ito, sa ating set summary, Nice try, Penjahat. No, 11-12 alongside the rest of the squad, actually. They've been able to push through up to our 14th round. But unfortunately, again, ComebackFriends, it seems like it's a bit too much for them to handle. Bright actually been able to get a decent 68.9% rating, no? Not bad. At dagdag na rin natin talaga no, yung 100% ngayon ni Yaba. Talagang pinapakita lang naman ni Yaba dito na regardless sa kung sino yung katapat niya, talagang gigil na gigil pa rin talaga siya.
Yeah, it doesn't matter kung ano man team yung katapat ni Yaba, no? Gusto niya lang naman talaga manalo, and with this stat line, Mochi, I feel like we do see a Yaba that is very much fierce, no? Good shots though coming from Janker as well. I feel like the randomness of New Mexico also gives a lot of powers towards TARINGBABI, right? Because veteran, they play it very different, but TARINGBABI is actually open to these like brawly fights, even for teams like ComebackFriends. So I love to see that he's not in the 0.0 rating now. He's actually having a little bit of a better game than before. But yeah, Yaba, amazing, even for Aiden. Actually just getting 13 kills with 12 headshots, by the way. That's insane. That's a 99% headshot rate.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention, no, na parang first time ko na makita na nasa 80 yung rating ni Aiden, pero parang hindi, it doesn't look like
That's
that
so
at
rare.
all. Pero check na rin natin, no, sino nga ba ang ating MVP? Because I'm pretty sure na itong dito kay ComebackFriends, parang lahat naman sila, no, magaganda yung mga rating at mga KDs nila dito. Pero only one stood tall is no other than Yaba himself. And again, no, consistency is key para dito kay Yaba, and given ang kanyang trabaho dito ay sumuporta. Naku po, isa-isa talaga nga pinapatubad niya dito, no, matik meron at meron siyang makuha trade-off or pick-off dito, no, sa buong mapa natin ng New Mexico.
Yeah, the confidence is just burst mula dito kay Yaba, and once you definitely see that Yaba is just pushing every time, you know that he's feeling himself na, kaya ko ito yung dominahin. Tulad nga sabi ni Moshi, wala siyang pake. Makakawal mo ka dito ni Yaba, to a point na kahit ang buong TARINGBABI kasama katapat niya, sila mismo yung natatakot sa sobrang tigas ng pag-push dito ng players natin, especially for Yaba. But ito na nga, 1-10, 4-10 for New Mexico as well. So a total 25 rounds were played here for these two teams. Only 5 go into the hands of TARINGBABI. ComebackFriends is just still too good, at kaya may kita natin ang ating match MVP, Mochi. I feel like kilala natin kung sino yan.
Abay, sino pa nga ba, no? Magugulat na lang ako
Si
kung...
Aiden.
Si Aiden pala, no? Magugulat na lang ako kung sinabi na map MVP natin itong si Yaba from first and second, tapos di pa siya naging match MVP. Pero ang taas ng KD niya, no? Again, I feel like this the highest KD na meron tayo in history, especially during our first map specifically. But again, balikan natin, no? Kasi syempre, no, sulitin dapat niya ba yung title na yan. After every single one, not even looking down his direction, lagi at lagi na lang magugulat ang TARINGBABI na nandoon pala siya, na present pala siya, at nagugulat na lang din ang TARINGBABI na ubos na sila.
Yeah. Parang no, eraser dito si Yaba, tapos sulat ng ballpen dito si yung TARINGBABI. Alam mo yung eraser na may other side, pero dati sa atin di gumagana, si Yaba gumagana lahat.
Sa kanya okay
okay, no? Gumagana, di napupunit yung papel. Talagang mukha pa ng buong TARINGBABI napupunit with what Yaba is doing dito sa ating two maps, no? But yeah, Yaba, what else can we say? From HKs to Vepers in hands, it is still prevalent para sa kanya that he can still dominate the scene. So yeah, congratulations to Yaba for a match MVP.
Yeah, congratulations indeed, no? Deserve, kumbaga, no? And it's just nice for us to hear, no? Kung ano nga bang insights itong ating mga people from ComebackFriends. Kaya naman, welcome na natin dito sa ating desk ang nag-iisang Aldrin, no? Para naman na makamusta natin siya. Yori, bossing. Bossing, kamusta naman tayo?
Okay naman po.
Congrats!
Thank you po.
Go, bipolar.
Okay, Aldrin, I just have 2 questions dito na, especially for you. Rarely that we see na ikaw na kausap namin, so I'm happy na ikaw yung may interview namin for today. So again, congratulations. Aldrin, how does it feel na ngayon? Bagong team for Aldrin, right? Does it feel better? Do you feel right at home? Mas feeling mo ba na nalalabas mo yung totoong lakas ni Aldrin?
Siguro po kasi, ano, mas komportable kasi mas naiintindihan ko sa Tagalog po kasi.
Pala, communication pa
Tama
talaga ang
naman.
problema, no?
Opo.
Nung
Legit
umpisa, no?
nga.
Totoo nga ang news, yung pati yung
Yeah.
chismis na si Aldrin, di niya alam yung callouts ka ba? Nahirap, isipin ko ano yung nangyayari sa buong mapa, no?
Opo,
Kapag
akala
ibang lingwahe, no?
ko kasi minsan may kalabang wala po pala.
Ah,
Yung ano kasi, yung parang yung accent nila, di ba, parang pagalit. Wala palang kalabang, kala ko.
totoo. Yeah.
Parang sa pitch din siguro, no?
Oo.
Pag pataas, akala mo may nangyayari na to sa
Oo,
wala,
wala po pala.
Ganun lang pala talaga siya. Ano, ayun, no? Alden, grabe. Seems like maganda ang pagkaka-integrate natin dito sa Comeback Friends so far. Ano yung nakitang strength ni Aldrin ngayon sa sarili niya na hindi niya nakita sa previous team? Maliban sa comms, of course.
Hindi ko maano po siguro. Wala, naglaro-laro lang po ulit ako kasi nung mga nakaraan, parang lilo rin ako
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So, it's still the same Aldrin, no? Pero ngayon parang mas komportable na talaga. Parang mas nagagamit mo yung totoong lakas mo kasi hindi ka na masyado nagugulan inside of the game. It's all just good fun, pati talagang tutok kung tutok, no? And nakikita naman namin, Aldrin, no? Sa performances mo so far, talagang you're always hitting. Kahit na mag-isa ka lang ng hold, you're always getting a lot of kills for your name. One thing to point out as well, Tetsu, di mo na maglalaro ngayon, right? Di naglaro ngayon sa buong mapa natin ng dalawa. Do you think naging problematic pa yung team dito despite naro sa team kalaban natin? Parang walang IGL role, walang nagme-mid-rounding calls. Parang sa tingin nyo ba kaya nyo yun kahit wala si Tetsu or needed pa rin yung parang in-game leader para sa buong Comeback Friends?
Yung needed pa rin po talaga namin si Tetsu. Nagloko lang po kasi talaga yung sa keyboard niya kaya hindi ko siya napagod.
Okay. So, peri pala. Parang it's a sign, Tetsu, no? Palitan mo na yan. Maraming salamat,
Thank you po.
Aldrin. Eto, curious ako. Sinong pumili ng New Mexico? Si Tetsu ba?
Sino nga ba?
O lahat
Sino
kayo?
pumili niyan?
Si Tetsu po,
Siya talaga?
Opo, siya talaga.
Noted. Noong nakaraan, sinisi niya pa si Aiden O siya rin pala
Oo.
talaga yung reason. Ayun, again, congratulations, Aldrin, no? And it's nice to have you back na talagang mas nakakalaro ko ng maigi. And halata naman sa resulta nyo dito so far, no? Sa ating group stage. So, the floor is yours. Shoutout mo na yung mga gusto mong batiin.
dapat sa mga sa mga naniniwala sa amin. Hello po sa inyo.
Yun.
Aldrin, no, it's been one hell of a ride para sa inyo. Hopefully, talagang mag-move forward tayo. One of the teams na prospected na talagang tumagal ng todo with a lot of wins dito sa ating group stage. So yeah, congratulations, Aldrin. And thank you very much.
Thank you po. Thank you po.
Congrats. Well played. Grabe, no? And it's nice, no? Na parang nakikita natin itong Comeback Friends na talagang tuloy-tuloy yung kanilang performance dito na sobrang
yeah.
stable, puro panalo, isang beses pala natatalo, no? And it appears na at least for now, no, this will be the goal para dito kay Comeback Friends, no, na makaproceed dito sa ating playoffs na at mukha namang for now nagagawa nila ng maganda at hopefully hindi ko ma-curse yun, no. Pero ito yung susunod natin mga laban dito, no, Execration versus Matches.
Eto na.
Hay, nako po, bipolar, parang andain natin magiging reaction dito ni Dadum,
Ay, nako po, tingnan natin, no. Buti na lang si Dadong parang nasa ibang lugar ngayon, parang bigla siya nag-teleport, eh. So, hindi niya masyado matututukan tong laban na to. Pero for everybody that's watching, this is a matchup that you should be looking out for kasi iba ang
Exactly.
bigat ng dalawang teams na to.
Definitely. And I can't wait na makita, no, kung ano ang magiging outcome nito, lalong-lalo na that there are some things to be settled with dito, no, sa dalawang teams natin. Kaya naman, for now, no, papahinga muna kami at mamaya mag-ready na kayo kasi Execration at Matches ang susunod na laban.